I love this because it recalls to me exactly the hiring campaign of the army. So working with my gym, with a lot of people that comes from the army, this is exactly what a soldier look like. I mean, they put their life at the service of a country, whatever the country it is. A mission could be the police, could be the SWAT team, could be whatever. And they search for the right people with the right mindset. And then they train them to become the best of the best in their field. And so it's funny to see how, and this is something that I want to double check with you. From the data that I have, all the most powerful startups that have disrupted the market have a very clear disruptive mission, or everybody was aligned to the mission with the purpose. And then the company was building on site sort of farms, talent pool creation, that they were teaching people about the technical mastery that they were looking to build or to embrace. And this is, to me, exactly how a special team in the army is working. Is this something that you have observed also in these 12 unicorns and in all the unicorns that you and your team have worked with?
Absolutely, yeah. I would say yes for the most part. I mean, building a culture of excellence, I think, is absolutely, I'd say, very much key. The other thing that I would mention is, yeah, a bit like a soldier. I mean, you're just extremely driven to achieve that goal, and you really need to put the right incentives in place, of course, so that everyone does achieve those goals. But it could be absolutely transformational. Another example that I could share, and I love to share with stories because I think that's really
Yep.
But this is a story of a cybersecurity company that was early in its days, and they were trying to attract the top talent. But often, these startups don't have the financial means. And what better way to incentivize everyone than by offering them, warrants and shares and founders' shares, so that if there is that big success and that big exit, that will be completely transformational and rewarding financially. And what's interesting is that people do take the sacrifice and they leave, comfortable positions at Apple or at Google to join this company. And I know one in particular, a personal friend of mine, and they took the leap of faith. They left a very comfortable job for a much lower salary, but they got a lot of shares. And when the IPO happened, that day was completely transformational. Everybody on that founding team, it's more than winning the lottery, right? We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars of personal profit. And so that's, again, a great example, of building a culture of alignment where everybody is like a soldier, extremely laser focused on achieving an attainable goal. But a lot of that is also because of the way that the incentives were structured internally at the team that made it in such a way. So I think the incentivization is really important as well. People need to really see the big picture, but also see the big reward down the line. And people can make transformational things happen with the right frame of mind, the right culture, and the right incentives.
That indeed resembles how you build a perfect SWAT team or a sales team. And this analogy is really intriguing because we can search and find something, for instance, about the selection process of a sale. We know that there are some amount of weeks training and then the selection process, and the early weeks, they are pretty tough. We know roughly, especially if you read the books like Goggins' book, which are the steps roughly of which are the challenges. But then what do we know about how they train a Navy SEAL or another special unit? Almost nothing. This is the catch that I got from the market. The market loves to sell stuff. So the market sells what I call hype. But then how can we ensure that an organization is not purchasing hype, but is able to grow and scale with technical excellence? Because we understood with you is one of the core tenets where a unicorn can be built or where a good organization can be constructed with solid foundation.